Hello, YouTube. Watch this video, please, before you join Ibuumerang. There is a preface that I want to make, which is that if there's any possibility that you will come into contact with anyone mentioned in this video, please do not. This is not an argumentum ad hominem. I'm not coming after the people. I'm coming after the things that they do, particularly the business model that they adopt. And if you are any of these people, in the extremely unlikely event that you are involved in Ibuumerang already and you're watching this, please don't take any of this as personally. This is all my opinion. So, as I begin many videos, I'm going to begin this with a definition of what a multi-level marketing entity is, or an MLM. According to Robert FitzPatrick, the author of Ponzinomics, which I'm hoping I am going to link in the video description, an MLM has 4 elements. If it has these 4 elements, it is, by definition, a multi-level marketing company. Multi-level marketing companies are first based on the endless chain sales proposition. Person A sells to person B, who sells to person C, etc., etc. It does not take an PhD in economics to understand that this is a non-workable model because it respects, first, neither the laws of supply and demand nor mathematics, and there was a video that I did on this in the basics playlist. And there are simply not enough people in the world for everyone involved in an endless chain sales scheme to make money. Another element, pay to play. In other words, you cannot participate in this endless chain sales scheme unless you pay some consideration. In product-based pyramid schemes, which are multi-level marketing companies, you must buy something. It could be a product or a subscription. And by the way, even though I am going to go through Ibuumerang's products at the end, these things could be the elixir of the gods. They could be the top of the top, the best products the world has ever made. That's not the issue. The issue is that you need to buy them in order to earn the right to get commissions from selling these products to someone else. And that's really where the third element of FitzPatrick's rubric comes in. The only way, really, that one can earn a decent amount of money, considering the enormous amount of time that this endeavor takes, is that you must recruit and recruit heavily, a so-called downline, which are the elements, the links in the endless chain, which incidentally are constantly falling off. There will be another video about that. That's the math video in the basics. And then finally, the fourth element, and this is the most difficult one to conceptualize, and in fact, sometimes to prove without a lot of mathematical calculations, and that is extreme money transfer. And that is that the majority, certainly upwards of 70% of every dollar at the point of sale in this endless chain pay-to-play, recruit-to-earn scheme ends up at the very top of the chain, which inevitably ends up shaped something like a pyramid, although they are just long, dangly strands usually, but they do have a potential pyramidal structure. So let's talk about Ibuumerang. By the way, the fonts in Keynote do not permit the placement of the diacritical mark, the umlaut, 2 dots next to each other. But if I could, I would put an umlaut over both U's, and I don't know how you pronounce that, and I don't speak German. It would be Ibuumerang or something like that. Ibuumerang is the way it's pronounced. I'm going to give some description of what Ibuumerang is. As of today, the guts of this presentation were initially made 2 years ago. That is in 2022. It is now 2024 when I am recording it. something of its history, a lot about the chief executive officer, and then finally the products and the compensation plan, and of course the income disclosure statement. Oh, wait, there is no income disclosure statement. An income disclosure statement is a document that is typically involved with issued with business opportunities. If you were to purchase a franchise, for example, an income disclosure statement is an essential part of it. This document must tell you what the likelihood of your making money is and what is required to do in order to make money in the scheme. Now, as you may have seen in the income disclosure statement video, which I have yet to figure out how to upload, all of them are abysmal. Even the good income disclosure statements look bad. It is hard to make money in these things, really, really hard. We usually say that if there is no income disclosure statement, my goodness, the chance of making money is probably some very small number close to zero, and I mean net earnings. I mean income minus expenses. And the reasoning behind that statement is that if there were a sizable number of individuals involved in the scheme making money, wouldn't you disclose it? And if you don't disclose it, that says something. All right. What kind of sales proposition is Ibuumerang? Well, it's neither fish nor fowl. That is a red-necked grebe with some kind of freshwater fish in its mouth. Well, Ibuumerang is neither grebe nor fish. I want you to try to imagine a three-way between World Ventures, the travel MLM, iGenius, about which I will have a lot to say in future videos, or for that matter, IM Academy or any of the crypto education so-called MLMs. And for a brief time, you could have thrown in there Young Living essential oils because that, strangely enough, was part of Ibuumerang for a short time. And you might even throw a little bit of Debt America in there, a debt relief organization. I mean, you would like to make this stuff up, but you can't make up what is to follow, which is for some time. There was a ride share component to Ibuumerang called Vibe Rides. It lasted about 2 weeks. I may be generous. But no, you can't make this stuff up. The rideshare Vibe Rides entity located within the Ibuumerang ecosystem lasted about 2 weeks. So here's what I know about Ibuumerang LLC, and I capitalized it only because in their Texas filing they capitalized the B. It was founded on 13 February 2019, which at this point is 5 years ago, not 3 years ago, in Dickinson, Texas, by this gentleman here who was Holton Buggs, who at the time of this dictation is around 50 years old, and he lives in Tampa, Florida. He is a lifer. From what I can tell from the biographies online that exist, he basically has done nothing except MLM since graduating from college. It is known that he made some big money with the coffee MLM Organo Gold. And, well, here's why he made so much money in Organo Gold. And this is where his legal problems begin. There was a lawsuit filed by the famous and much deservedly maligned MLM Melaleuca against Mr. Buggs and Organo Gold International in 2011. He was not a distributor for Melaleuca, from what I can tell, but what he did as a preferred customer was that he had access to Melaleuca marketing executives and customers and was aware of their non-solicitation policy, which in other words, it's a no-no to take the links in the endless chain from one MLM and persuade them to move to another. MLMs get unhappy when you do this. So I'm not going to go into the same amount of detail in this dictation as I did in the original version because, frankly, it's boring. The long and the short of it is that there was a setup where Holt and Bugs met with many of the higher-ups in Melaleuca, invited them to organo-gold opportunity meetings, and then closed them. And then substantial numbers of Melaleuca endless chain salespeople moved over, and that ticked off Melaleuca. And so they sued Mr. Bugs. Well, there was a motion made to dismiss, as often happens in these very long and boring litigations, and it was denied. However, the suit was never tried and was eventually dismissed. So I said, oh, yeah, I'm disappointed with that outcome. Don't worry, folks. Holt and Bugs' story gets worse. Let us talk a little bit about Amerisciences LP. It was a dietary supplement MLM. It no longer exists. In 2012, it was looking at bankruptcy. And in 2019, the year that Ibuumerang launched, a decision was handed down by the U.S. District Court of Appeals for the Southern Texas District, stating that Holt and Bugs, well, it turns out he did kind of the same thing he did between Melaleuca and Organo Gold. And this is, he in similar fashion, found two high-ups, and in this case in Amerisciences, they were rather high up in the company, and sort of made an attempt to steal the entire mechanism of Amerisciences and move it over to Organo Gold. And I don't want to bore with the details. You can go slowly through the pages of the complaint that I've listed here, but I have to move on because, sadly, the Holt and Bugs story gets worse. Let us talk a little bit about IQ Chain/Legacy. In March 2022, the CEO of IQ was indicted on securities fraud for running what was called by the SEC a crypto Ponzi scheme. And whoops, looks who was involved in IQ. It was Holt and Bugs. He was a large presence in the company, so he quietly stepped aside from this and somehow managed to miss being hit by the whip as it came down, and he launched Ibuumerang. But you can't make this stuff up, folks. It gets much, much worse. Let us talk only briefly about the trader's domain. And the reason I'm going to talk briefly is because the magnificent YouTuber, CoffeeZilla, and the equally magnificent BehindMLM, which is a blog, have covered the trader's domain in depth. Suffice to say, it was a scheme which purported to trade gold U.S. dollar pairs, except there was no actual trading happening. So in other words, it was a Ponzi scheme. And folks, it was a big one. This is CoffeeZilla's estimate, approximately $500 million stolen from the individuals who were rooked into investing money in this Ponzi. Holt and Bugs himself funneled $75.9 million into Trader's Domain. How much of that as a commission he got to keep is unknown, although rumor has it, and I will not speculate on YouTube, is that it was substantial. Many, if not most, of his victims were distributors in Ibuumerang, who knew, liked, and trusted, worshipped Holt and Bugs. And if he recommended that people invest in this thing, they would do so. And so sorry for your loss, because they lost all their money. Some, in fact, Ibuumerang diamonds managed to get some of their downlines in the chain involved in this. And one of them in particular, who I've been following, who I'm not going to name here, but I might do a video later, since the indictments were brought against Holton Buggs, has gone noticeably silent about her activity. And if I were her attorney, I would probably tell her to do that too, for fear that she get named in the suit. All right, let us talk about the products. Their signature product is a typical one for many MLMs, as World Ventures, as I mentioned before. There's a travel booking site. You can book hotels, cars, cruises, not flights, interestingly, because here a part of their pitch they would say is there are no margins in flights, which is interesting. I don't know of other travel-related MLMs who say this. Kanika, if you are watching, I'll send you a copy of this. I'd be interested to in your take on whether World Ventures used to mention margins and flights. So these so-called ambassadors get a percentage of the savings that clients get on booking. So the clients get some savings, and some of that goes to the person who got them involved. Another one of the products, I will speak even more briefly because you're going to see in a second, this essential oil that was distributed through a device that you stuck in your nose. Folks, you can't make this up. Cost about $25, lasted a little bit longer than Vibe Rides, more than 2 weeks. It's gone. They don't sell it anymore, and yeah, I don't know. I'm no marketing specialist, but it was a dumb idea, in my humble opinion. This is the only other showcase product that Ibuumerang sells right now, and it is Elevate, which are a teaching platform similar to what you're going to see in iGenius. Videos that teach you Forex trading that you can learn on YouTube for free. I have no idea how much it costs. It also suggests trades that you should make, and they have an AI bot that trades for you. This is all going to sound real familiar when we talk about some of the other crypto MLMs. Hint, hint, iGenius. You pay a very high price for it in iGenius. I don't know what you pay for it in Ibuumerang. So iGenius also is going to have a product similar to Ibuumerang's Bill Genius. It is, to paint the best face on this that I can, it's designed to help people learn how to handle money who, up until buying this product, have only handled it irresponsibly. Bill Genius uploads bills. It does some machinations with them, and you don't pay anything unless you save. I have no idea what they mean by that. This is some of the language that they propose. You authorize the company to act in your name on your behalf to negotiate discounted rates with the current provider and to split the savings with you if you are successful in achieving discounts. In other words, if they don't succeed in getting a discount, then you lost your money. You authorize us, Bill Genius, to negotiate on your behalf on an ongoing basis for the bills you upload, negotiating at the end of your savings term and when we find opportunities to save you money. You may opt out of ongoing negotiations at any time. If you opt out of future renegotiations, you will still be billed in full for your split of savings on any previously negotiated negotiations. Please read your full legal agreement below, which governs this service. Again, doesn't sound like an awesome deal, but it's at least their heart is in the right place. They're trying to help people, whether they actually help people who owe money to creditors, I don't know. Okay, here is an overview of the comp plan. What I like about this slide is its honesty, and what I mean by honesty is that it is so complicated that it is obvious that compensation plans in MLMs are extremely difficult to understand, and it is safe to say that no one understands them, in much the same way that Richard Feynman once said that it's safe to say that no one understands quantum mechanics. Do you have any questions? Folks, here's the bottom line. You are a valuable individual. You are way too valuable to waste your time, energy, and money in an MLM. That's all I've got for you, and I will see you in the next episode.